Hey, how are you? Hi, welcome to another review from me, Stephen Hill of Metal Hammer and other things. Hope you're good. You good? Good. Right, today I'm going to be. I like to hold up a CD. I do not have this record on CD, so I have it here next to me on my iTunes. It is the new album from the prog maestros between the Buried and me. It's called Coma Ecliptic. I think that's right. Yes, it is. Good. And it comes out on Monday. This being the 9th of July 2015. So it's out like tomorrow or a couple of days time, I believe. And this is what to expect. Now, I've actually been quite a sort of a slight fan, I would say, between the Buried and Me over the years. I'd heard such good things about them around the time Alaska came out. But the first thing I bought theirs was their covers album, The Anatomy of, which was really good. I thought it was really interesting. You know, they covered stuff like Queen, they covered Soundgarden, Metallica, Motley Crue, like a very different group of bands that they were covering on that album. And I thought it was done pretty straight. Great cover of The Day I Tried to Live by Soundgarden, but it really kind of piqued my interest in the rest of the band. So I went back and listened to Alaska, which is a really good sort of technically minded metalcore album. And then Colours came out. I think Colours is the best thing they've ever done, personally. Taking that kind of technical metalcore thing, adding in slight kind of prog elements, but never really going full prog. The Great Misdirect, which came out in I think it was 2009. I don't actually own that album, but it kind of it was okay. Like what I've listened to it, I kind of thought it was okay. It seemed a little bit fractured between the metal stuff that they were doing and the more unusual elements of their sound. There's kind of bits of bluegrass and slide guitar and country and all these other things that they started adding to their sound. And then, of course, the Parallax Future Sequences albums, the EP and then the album part two. The album, I thought that was kind of where they lost me on a lot of places. There's only so much kind of into the prog realm you can go. The best prog bands of the modern era, bands like Tool, bands like Mastodon, the bands that get that, Meshuggah get called prog. They don't really incorporate anything to do with what I think are the deeply uncool parts of prog music, the kind of wizards and capes and 45-minute long Moog synthesizer snogging antics of those giants of prog rock from the 70s. So I'm not really into that too much, but there seemed to be quite a lot of that with Between the Buried and Me. But you thought to yourself, at the very least, they are a prog band and they are progressing further and further down their career. They're progressing. Are they progressing with this new album? No, in a word, they're not really. This very much feels like the Parallax 3, to be perfectly honest. That's not to say that it's not without its merits. There is a 9.5, nearly 10-minute long song in here called Memory Palace, which kind of incorporates all the things that Between the Buried and Me have been doing over the last few years, and really melds all of those influences together. Really nice piano lines, some really kind of dreamy, proggy bits that wouldn't look out of place on a Dream Theater album, but at the same time, a really good vocal performance and some really, really crushing riffs. The problem I have with the album, really, ultimately, is that I just feel that if you're gonna make an album of this length, this album is nearly 70 minutes long. I think you have to justify pretty much everything you do. The problem with a lot of prog bands and the things I don't like about prog, it's not going, oh, this song is 10 minutes long and it's progressive, so it's 10 minutes long, but it's a lot of, we have to make this a 12-minute long, 14-minute long song because we're a prog band, and there seems to be a lot of stretching things out far greater than they need to be stretched out in this album. Just the opening track, Node, is a decent track, and it's got a nice little sort of floaty vocal line that really draws you in, but it's it's basically an intro and it's 3.5 minutes long. And you think most intros are between kind of 50 and 90 seconds long at the start of albums, and I just thought there was no need for it to be that long. The Coma Machine is like 7 minutes long. I think a lot of that is kind of unnecessary. That would make a really good 4-minute long single, and they've stretched it to the nth degree. And really, Between the Buried and Me are not doing anything that they didn't do on their previous album. It's all kind of space rock and Dream Theater worship mixed in with a bit of metalcore, and the metalcore sounding more and more watered down with every release, to be perfectly honest. I think they had good moments on this. I don't think Between the Buried and Me are a bad band. They're obviously a very talented band, but I think they seem to have been getting caught up in the more murkier and less desirable areas of the prog rock landscape. Like I said, probably would have made a great EP, but the thing is, someone here needs to tell Between the Buried and Me to cut their songs down. Mind you, I could have probably, it's nearly 6 minutes, I probably could have cut this video down. I would probably give this album because there are good things in it, I'd probably give it a strong 5, maybe creeping up to a 6. But really at this point, if you're a progressive band, you should try and progress, and I don't feel that this album by Between the Buried and Me shows any real signs of progression. It just shows a lack of discipline in their songwriting. Let me know what you thought if you've heard the album, if you're a fan, if you want to hear any reviews of any particular things from me. We can do that. We can do whatever it is that you want. But right now, go away.